2024 has been a crazy year for couples, married couples in in entertainment. I guess can't call it Hollywood, the limelight or the spotlight, but people that we know that are famous, old famous, new famous, semi-famous. They all going through some shit. You know what I'm saying? Some couples and some singles. We all heard the ladies, um, like the ladies we grew up kind of watching and shit. The Vivica Foxes and the Tarajis and the what's old girl from the play? Yeah, Lisa Ray. Just trying to remember because I ain't have it right in front of me. But yeah, like we all heard the stories of the ladies talking about how hard it is out here. How hard it is out here for a pimp at this point in the game. We also seen some married couples, go down some crazy, but it like shit backfiring and shit working totally different than I ever thought it would work. I ain't gonna say the city girls is down, but them guys making a comeback. I'll say that shit. It's been real interesting to see some of the things that have happened, like Tia leaving her husband, talking about she graduated and all that shit. And I'm gonna tell y'all, man, some crazy shit in life. Um, you don't even know what's blocking your blessings or holding you back. You'll be sitting here with the motherfucker you like, this my soul, man. I love this motherfucker. And in a real way, God ain't releasing nothing. God ain't releasing nothing your way as long as you with that person, as long as y'all together and all those things. And sometimes it ain't even your decision. Like I said, you have all these intuition, all these feelings like, yeah, I don't know about this one. But a lot of times it's me and we stick it out for, family, the kids, you know what I'm saying, making sure like it, like it's hard out here, in real life, for, single mothers, single women, children of single parents. It ain't no easy road to hoe and shit. And if you can keep, everything under one roof, everything consolidated, all, what I'm saying, one set of beliefs, one set of values, one set of morals, under one, you stand a better chance of, having some successful offspring out here in this world. But it's crazy how that man was with that woman 20 some odd years doing everything he could, being everything he could, and just couldn't hit that breakthrough, couldn't get that thing. And that's the thing she resented. The very thing he couldn't hit, the very, milestones he was trying to reach and couldn't get to while they was together, is the very thing she held against him. And in the process of that, man, that, she started to resent him. And, that's a real thing and shit when you with somebody that don't fuck with you for real. And, he, like I said, they got kids together. They've been together since they was young. It seemed like it's the right thing to do. Everything is pointing. And he wasn't wrong for, making that work. It wasn't his fault that he, got with a bitch that switched up on him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this ain't the person she was before. Even her family saying that. You can see her sister said that shit in a couple interviews, allegedly. With all this AI out here, you never know what the fuck is what now. But even her sister said that same thing, man. It's really weird and funny to me that that man was with her then 20 years, had kids, and lived his life, or what most people presumed or assumed would be the prime of your life. You done raised your kids, you done did everything, at least in the public eye the right way. And I would really venture out to say that if the nigga did something bogus, if he did something bad, that shit would have been out. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been no motherfucking problem for the shit to just be out there, because that's how people play the victim and gain sympathy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, I call it internet proxy violence, because a lot of times what ends up happening is that folks will bring all their business to the internet to basically have those people judge you. and in the process of them judging you or them, getting you fired from your job or harassing you at school or whatever it is, you know what I mean? They bring their business to the internet, and they use the internet proxy violence as a passive aggressive tool to kind of make themselves like, well, I didn't do it. I was just telling what happened. I was telling my version of what happened, and it ain't my fault these people crazy and they did what they did, but you brought that shit to the internet, and so it's really funny that if he had done something, or he had been a bad guy, abusive, cheating, had a bunch of bitches or whatever, side babies, yeah, she would have said it, because that would drive ratings, clicks, views, to push the narrative in her favor and stuff like that. But a lot of times chicks be in a situation where they can't really say, if you ain't did shit, you know what I'm saying, they can't really go out there, so they have some morsel of integrity. It's like, man, I can't just go out here and say some shit like it's like this person really is a bad person. It's like they ain't did shit to me, and in the end, what it really come down to is I really feel like she just wanted to get out here and see what the streets got off. It ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's funny that the way the universe worked, he had blessings because, and it's probably karmic blessings, but blessings nonetheless. He had blessings lined up for him, you know what I'm saying? And the universe was like, I can't release these blessings to you until you get the fuck away from this bitch, because it's gonna ruin you, bro. And I don't want to ruin you. You a good guy and shit, you know what I'm saying? And where he felt like he was probably suffering and shit, you know what I'm saying, going through, he gave the interviews talking about how, he a family man, and not being around his family is a real hard thing to deal with, especially for men. Now, can't speak for women, but I understand, exactly how a man feels, because I'm a man, and so, young brother say, man, it was a hard, dark time for him, but it's so funny that as soon as that bitch put him in a situation where he had to get the fuck away from her, he had to get the fuck away from him. And in the process of him getting the fuck away from him, he ended up cashing the biggest check he never cashed in his whole entire acting career. It's funny, right? It's real funny. And when you think about it, it's like, man, that probably would have been the thing that kept them together. She probably would have acted right if he'd have been, that nigga that get that check, get that level of accolade. And because I think that's what it is. A lot of times people don't want to just people don't want to have the freedom. People don't want to necessarily just have the security, the money, and the stuff that comes. People chase the light. People want to be famous. People want to be, they want that attention. And there we have, that's why you got the situation where she out here talking about she graduated from her marriage, and she doing all kind of shit to embarrass her kids, embarrass herself. And I really appreciate these brothers for standing strong, standing 10 toes down and just being on their business. Man, you ain't gotta, man, it's too much shit on this internet where folks is crashing out, men against women, elders against the children. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody against everybody. And for me, at least, you know what I'm saying? These brothers, and I'll name a few of them in a second, but these brothers did a really good job of just standing on business, 10 toes down and shit, and being like, man, I'm a man up, and no matter what this shit is, even if a motherfucker lying on me, even if a motherfucker painting me out to be, I'ma stand on business and let the shit be what it is. Not for any other thing, but necessarily for my kids, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I got to take some slings and arrows in the, you know what I'm saying, on the back end, but in the end, I'm a man, and most men feel like, as a sacrifice for their family, for their kids, and even for their, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times for their ex-wife, baby mama, or, you know what I'm saying, side bitch. A lot of times a motherfucker will sacrifice on the front end to make sure that everybody's straight on the back end, because a lot of time people don't understand we big boys, and we gotta deal with big boy shit sometimes, so we ain't got no problem doing that. And so guys like Judge Mathis and Corey Hardrick and Papoose, these is dudes that really, you know what I'm saying, stood on business, and I appreciate that. They ain't they ain't run from the shit that was. They dealt with the realities of the shit that is, and you know they coming through. To me, they coming through, shining on the back end, and that, like to me, that's one of the biggest things that could be a what you would consider anecdotal evidence, I guess you could call it. That's what I would consider. You know, for a young man, you know, man, maybe a young brother that ain't got no real good guidance around, maybe doesn't have, you know, positive male role models, maybe don't have no role models around. This is anecdotal evidence. This is shit that these young people can look to and be like, man, you know what? I think we could handle this. You know what I'm saying? I think there's an opportunity here for me to be able to come through it, because I seen somebody else do it, and not only did I see him do it, I seen him do it in under a microscope, under the biggest magnifying glass they could possibly find. These brothers was able to do it and come through with aplomb and still hold their integrity and make sure they maintain the family image. You know what I mean? Just like, hey, like she could act like she wanna act. She could do what she wanna do. She could wild out how she wanna wild out. I can't control that. But what I can control is me. And it seemed like these brothers are doing a really good job of controlling themselves and that, and having that self-discipline, and also self-reflection, to be able to understand that, hey, that was, you know, yeah, I see my part in this. I understand what might have been, but might have been or might be, but I'm not gonna drag my lady through the mud. I'm not gonna drag my kids' mama through the mud. You know, I'm not gonna do that. Not to gain sympathy, empathy, or likes and views. I'm just gonna go about my business, stand 10 toes down as a man, and like in the end, you know, saying people to see exactly what it is. Because I think in the end, most people just want for their kids, you know, their family to respect them. And if they got that, you know what I'm saying, the rest of y'all kind of fuck off. And I think these men kind of show, you know, a really good example of how you can kind of deal with this shit in the spotlight. You know what I mean? There should be training manuals for this next group of young people coming through. This should be a training manual for how you can deal with some shit that you didn't quite plan on or necessarily make assessment for, but this is how you could deal with it and come through it on the back end and still be that man, be the man that you want to be, not only for yourself, but, you know what I'm saying, for your kids, and really in a real way for the funky bitch that, you know, take you through the shit to begin with. But it's funny how that man literally came through that shit, and 20 years after he got with a bitch and the bitch left him, he was able to, and I know I'm using terminology that people don't like. Who give a damn? It's my channel. You be mad. He don't respect women. Get the fuck on, because I'm talking about a real serious situation. And if you knew for real, you wouldn't even be worried about it. But I'll continue to speak just because I know at some point somebody will be like, oh, he said, nobody want to hear that shit. But yeah, getting back to it, it's just so funny how, you know, you be with somebody this long and go through all these different things, and at your lowest point it seemed like they kicking you and shit, and but it was really the universe way of telling you, like, hey, this ain't what you needed to begin with, and I'm not only gonna acknowledge you for what you did, but I'm gonna reward you coming through it on the back end. You know what I mean? And that man cashed the biggest check he ever cashed. And I know Tyler Perry messy as hell, knowing, you know what I'm saying, what I know and how, you know what I'm saying, how Tyler operated shit. Tyler Perry messy as hell, but I love it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I love the whole situation of it, because it just really looked like, you know, and to be honest, young fella did a real good job in the movie and shit. So, you know, to not only have your work recognized, to do probably what's your most recognizable job. Although I do remember him from Battle Los Angeles. I actually thought he had a really good role in that, you know, in that movie. But you know, all that aside, you know what I mean? I think he did a really good job, and I think this will be his most memorable role. And the fact that he got paid the most to do it, you know what I'm saying? It just makes everything that he went through all worth it. And on the back end, she can't even enjoy the red carpet. She can't even find, and that's so crazy because ain't that a Tyler Perry movie? I'm telling you, this motherfucker Tyler is diabolical, boy. I'm telling you, Tyler is diabolical. But ain't that one of his movies where old girl was Atonement or something? One of the movies like that where Taraji was mad because shit wasn't moving on her time, it was moving on Universal time, and she got a little impatient, and then young fella came up, and came up in a real big way. And I don't expect this guy to do anything other than what he been doing. Be a family man, take care of his family. But I mean, now he free, and he got a little paper in his pocket and shit. He a little older. I don't think he gonna let his business get out in the street just because I think he been a private guy this long, and I think he understand the game as far as respecting his kids and knowing that this ain't really what he wanted to see, at least not at this point in the game, in life and stuff, no matter what she doing. And so I think you'll probably see him doing the same thing he been doing, him handling his business, taking care of his kids, but being able to enjoy life, enjoy some of that money without old girl, and it's funny, we when we talk about just enjoying life and be manning up, standing 10 toes down, doing your thing and handling your business. I look at a guy like Papoose, and this man here been through the shits when we think about it, right? He gets married to the type of woman he like. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he gets married to the type of woman he like. You know what I'm saying? She a bit of a she got a bit of a rough edge on her. She got a little bit of a I don't know. She got a bit of a little urban twist, I guess you could say. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing wrong with that, because everybody like around the way girl, off the block girl, you know what I'm saying, from the hood girl. I do shit. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Everybody like one of them and your type is your type. But, he get with a chick, they get married, have kids, and now she busting niggas upside the head and shooting at motherfuckers or whatever it is and shit, and she end up going to jail and shit. Normally it's the other way around. She ended up going to jail, and my man stand by. You know what I'm saying? Her whole bid, he take care of the kids, he hold it down on the streets. You don't hear no foulness, you don't hear no business. You know what I'm saying? When she get ready to come home, she home. You know what I'm saying? This my boo, I love her. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad she back. Yada yada yada. He all these people talking about the relationship goals. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, Remy and Papoose, the Wheel of Jada, and these is relationship goals. Man, you gotta watch, because you don't understand what be going on behind these closed doors and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so it come down to it. She done got out for a couple years and shit getting back cool. Motherfucker, the pandemic done came through. A lot of shit changing rapidly around here. And all of a sudden we see his wife Remy Ma pop up with a great value version of Papoose. And Papoose a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? No. But, you know what I'm saying? She showed up with a great value version of a great value nigga. This shit was some crazy shit, you know what I'm saying? And that, I think, man, you know what I'm saying? It's the one thing that you do where you cheat on me. Alright. You cheat on me, but then you make the shit public. Now you humiliate me. Now we looking at this nigga, and this nigga is the goddamn Timu version of me and shit, and now it's like double humiliation. It's just insult to injury at this point and shit. You know what I'm saying? And now what she do is she stand 10 toes down on it. She stand on business. I like him. I'm gonna be out with him. I'm taking pictures and shit, the whole nine. And so, some fisticuffs may have or may have not occurred, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? I done heard, from multiple sources that he knocked the man's out. Shit, last time we seen him was in the fetal position and shit. But this your man's, and this who you like. So, hey, ain't no problem with that. It is what it is. Even throughout all this shit, you never really got anything confirmed. At least not from his side. You kind of seen some behaviors on Remy Ma's side that let you kind of know that, like, all right, this what it is and shit. But you never really seen anything from Papoose on his end that say, hey, I guess he that he was that nigga that, you know, she was describing it. Nah, you know what I'm saying? You ain't never seen nothing. You couldn't really confirm anything on his end. And so, when we get back around to this shit, after so long, of course my man gonna want a divorce. This shit's out of hand. You know what I'm saying? You not like I say, you not only doing what you do, but you publicly humiliating the motherfucker and all this other shit. You know, it's tough out here. And public humiliation is like that. I think that's something not many people could come back from, men, women, anybody in between. And so it was really weird. What was really weird was after about, you know, a year and some change, almost 2 years, allegedly my man got a girlfriend now and shit. You know what I'm saying? And the person, the crazy part is like he got, I think where she mad at, because allegedly Papoose is dating Clarissa Shields. The hand, you know, the hands of all hands of females and shit. You know what I'm saying? I just put it like this. I've always told my wife, if you gonna cheat on me, at least cheat on me with a nigga that could beat my ass at least 3 times. He's gonna have to beat me 3 out of 5. You know what I'm saying? So if you could cheat on a nigga. You cheat on me with a nigga that could beat my ass 3, he deserve you. He the better man. I'm gonna have to walk that shit off. But these ain't gonna be no scheduled sanction fights. If he beat my ass the first time, he just gonna have to be on guard for that, cause I could pop out a garbage can. All the rest of them bitches gonna be surprised. No holds barred, you know what I'm saying? Anything goes matches and shit. So I might Nancy Kerrigan this nigga, you know what I'm saying? Bust his ass in the knee with a pipe. You know, you just have to watch out for me at that point, you know what I'm saying? But if she date a motherfucker that could beat my ass 3 times, I'm gonna assume that this nigga's the better man, and I need to go ahead and but you know, I love my wife and I'm gonna fight for my wife and shit. So if I got to get my ass whipped 3 times, I got to get my ass whipped 3 times to prove, all right, this nigga's the better man. I might have to move on from this shit. But if she decides she want to goddamn it date Floyd Mayweather, no, that's not we can't even fight him, baby. Who gonna do that? And he rode with a big ass crew, so no, I'm shooting him in the legs. Period. Is, you know, that's it. But what ends up happening is my man goes and get a female. He goes and gets with a young lady that, well, we could consider her Remy Ma would be the great value or the T-Move version of her and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He, you know, she a little, she rough like he like them and shit. You know what I'm saying? She kind of hood like she like him, but this bitch got them hands. And when I say this bitch got them hands, she out here capping. Remy Ma is out here capping at a chick that can knock her motherfucking head off. She can knock most niggas' heads off. You know what I'm saying? To be honest and shit. Like, you know, let's when we get down to it, like all this other shit you want to talk. She's a trained fighter. 99% of people are not trained fighters. If she catch you, your ass going to sleep. Period. So, like I said, most niggas out here will get their ass put to sleep by her as well. So when we come back around to it, Remy Ma getting her feelings as she exposed text messages online. She going in. She acting crazy. The shit's all out of hand. But the crazy thing is, this man that asked for a divorce, you went and dated the T-Move, you actually made public appearances, and I think that shit's a cardinal motherfucking sin when it all come down to it. In a real way, the game is the game. But when you start making public appearances with motherfuckers, taking pictures and shit like that, man, if you ain't got no proof that I done did no wild shit or no goofy shit like that to you, man, why you got to try to humiliate a motherfucker? Like I say, public humiliation is a motherfucker. It's like a lot of shit you can come back from. But like I say, I believe people do these things in order to kind of slant the narrative of public opinion against you, because they know they wasn't shit to begin with. And I commend these men for holding down the fort, standing 10 toes down and handling their business. And it's funny because Papoose was like, I know this bitch rough, and shit could get out of hand. So if I'm a fuck with somebody, I'm fucking with somebody that I know. This bitch done did time. You know what I'm saying? It's like when we come down to it, this bitch done did time. And anybody I fuck with gonna have to be able to come with. They gonna have to be with the shits in order, for us to have, a successful relationship. And I gotta give Remy Ma her props. She ain't She a hood rat. She, she a wild hyena. She definitely coming with, all her hyena tactics and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I love to see it, but I ain't gonna lie. I would pay to see Remy Ma versus Clarissa. I think Remy Ma a little bigger too and shit. You know what I'm saying? Clarissa, I think Remy Ma might be a little taller. Clarissa a little short, thick motherfucker kind of. You know what I'm saying? Y'all seen the weigh in. We ain't even gotta talk about it. Y'all seen the weigh in just like I did. Nigga. Stop tripping. But yeah, just to see the fact that like the these are things that go on in real relationships. This is stuff that happen in real life around real time. Like every one of us probably know a motherfucker that been married a few years longer than they needed to be and still married right now, ain't together and shit. You know what I mean? It's just refuse to get that shit taken care of. And when it come down to it, we all kind of knew they wasn't right for each other and all that shit to begin with. But one party or the other, or sometimes both parties, they just ain't willing to let that shit go. And it's just funny that the brother Papoose jumped out. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I know my bitch throw them hands and act a fool, and you know what I'm saying. So if I'm gonna get with a motherfucker, I need to get with a motherfucker. My wife is a goddamn maniac and shit. She done did time, like I said. It's my time, and so if I'm gonna get with somebody, I'm gonna get with somebody that's gonna be able to punch your motherfucking head off her body and shit. And I love it. I love all of it, but it's really sad to see that it seems like the ladies is crashing out, and they always get the benefit of the doubt as far as who care about family and who care about this. But then we see these real life examples of, like I said, brothers standing 10 toes down. I'm glad to see it, because like I said, this is anecdotal evidence. This is for a young brother that don't have a positive male role model, like I said, or any role models at home. And this is anecdotal evidence. It's something you can point to in real life and say, hey, I've seen some things chronicled, and even though some things might not be true or some things might be embellished or fabricated, what I can see with my own two eyes is how shit don't necessarily always work out the way we think it do, but we don't have to behave or react in an emotional manner. We don't have to flip the switch and go all nuclear, scorched earth on everybody and make shit worse than what it need to be. What we really, we can find ourselves doing is a little bit more introspection, a little bit more of the shadow work, and kind of allowing the universe to take care of us. And like I said, these brothers did a really good job, where I don't know if I could have did that. I don't know if my wife think Floyd Mayweather, I might, you might fan me out here, you know what I'm saying, busting caps at Floyd Mayweather and shit in these streets. I don't know, you know what I mean? The same thing with Corey Harder. I got my wife out here. I might have to turn into that character that I was in the movie with the 2-finger point, and you know what I'm saying, trying to smack a bitch upside the head, because man, you are trying. I feel like you are purposely trying to destroy me, trying to ruin our family, and that that, like I said, in the end, when it all come down to it, all that money, all the fame, everything, man, only thing that you have in this world as a man is your name and your lineage, man. You want to keep your name clean, and you want to have a strong bloodline, man. You want your offspring to be out here able to produce and be productive, in the long run, because all this other shit, when it all come down to it, is here today, gone tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You can have all the money, all the fame, all the everything, and all that shit'll be gone. But when it all come down to it, who were you? Who were you as a person? Who are you? And what did you put forth into this world? Did you put bullshit, or did you put did you put premium shit out into the world? And I think that's where these brothers can be a real inspiration, or at least, like I say, anecdotal evidence to be chronicled for another group of young brothers that's coming through on the end that may not have any role models, let alone male role models at home. So it's really good to see, and this ain't no men versus women, whoa, the city boys is up. It's like, no, man, I think this shit is a learning tool for everybody involved. I think men and women can learn from these situations, from both sides of shit, you know what I'm saying? And when it all comes down to it, we all get caught up in we like what we like, type of thing, and you know we know who we know, and we know who we are in many cases, and in the end we have to deal with the other shit that comes on the back end with who we date, who we procreate with, and the decisions we make going behind that. I don't think none of these brothers that I mentioned made bad decisions at who they decided to date, who they decided to procreate with, none of that shit. I just think shit took a turn that they wasn't necessarily expecting, and I think that shit can happen to every last one of us. I don't think any of us are exempt from those things happening to us. But I think the way they handled it, is in the 90th percentile of niggas and shit, because niggas normally, like I say, go scorched earth, fuck the kids, fuck everybody else. I'm gonna trade in my old family for a new family. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be as petty as the broad is on this whole situation and shit. And it don't have to be like that. In the end, yeah, you may end up taking some losses, and on the front end, it may not you may not necessarily get the reaction from the public that necessarily they had about you, but in the end, like I said, I think all these brothers is winning, and I think they won in a way that showed that they that if you just stand the course, you know what I'm saying, hold fast and not bend, because that's what a lot of times motherfuckers do. They bend, they get out here and they be like, fuck it, you know, they show how much jelly is in their back. And I think these brothers still strong, 10 toes down, and I think they coming out the other end of it better for it. But I also believe that young people are coming out the other end better for it, not just because they winning, but because they didn't have to trash their family, or they didn't have to beat up on women, or, you know, they mates, they spouses, they ex-spouses, they baby mamas. They didn't have to destroy women or destroy those people that was closest to them for that time. Even though the women may have tried to do otherwise, they didn't do that, and I think that was a good thing. And I think that's a good thing for all the young brothers out here. So like I said, this is anecdotal evidence. This is just stuff that could be chronicled for the next young brother that don't have a role model, or don't have a male role model, that they can see that there's another way to do shit. You do not have to go put your hands on them. You don't got to go beat nobody up. You definitely don't have to go to the internet for likes, views, or sympathy and shit like that. Just continue to, if you really are that dude, if you was that nigga all this time, it's gonna show and be proven that you was this nigga, and people gonna see that. And I think the universe has showed. It just depends on where you look. So I hope that we use this as a teaching tool for the next generation of young brothers, that, man, even though shit can go sideways, you can handle your business and not end up in this same situation. Peace.